So, I guess we'll go ahead and stop the music. Turn this down, turn that down. All right, you guys ready? Get this recorded. Thanks for the retweets, Vaxxer. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by patrons like Tom. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get exclusive rewards at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. What happened to World of Warcraft? Nothing really happened to World of Warcraft. I hate to say this, but it feels like I'm complaining. And I'm not complaining. I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is certainly not a complaint. But I had received, in the span of the last 3 weeks, like 10 different review copies of games. And if I was going to get those done, those reviews done, then I didn't have time to play World of Warcraft, which sucks because I love that game. So I'm not giving up on World of Warcraft. I'm still playing it. I had to take a break so I could get this other stuff done. Right now, I've just got so much stuff to do. And then with Mario Odyssey coming around the corner, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Complaint registered. All right. I want you to use your imagination here for just a second. And I want you to imagine the front of my desk. And on that desk, there's a little tiny piece of paper with the number 1 on it. Okay? And it is attached to a small metal ring. Okay? Now that metal ring is attached to a grenade. And then underneath the grenade, it says complaints, take 1. Oh my gosh, we've got a new sub, or a resub, and I didn't even see who it was. That's backwards. So let's put this on. I'm going to have to switch scenes real quick. Awate86 is a new sub. Thank you, Awate. I appreciate it. They subbed using their Twitch Prime, which is fantastic. And for those of you that didn't know, if you have Amazon Prime, all you got to do is link your Twitch account to your Amazon account, and then for the low cost of 0, you can do exactly what Awate86 just did. Kodiak Moonwolf says, oh my god, it works manually, cries, points at Discord. Now why won't you work automatically? Oh, I'm sorry, Moonwolf. Thank you very much for joining. Oh man, you missed out on the audio from that. Here, let's see if I can get the audio to play for you guys. Because it's always more fun with the audio. I just got to go to my Streamlabs dashboard real quick. Kodiak loves the run jump bot icon. Yeah, me too. Let's see. So, let's replay this one. Here we go.
Be the first in your neighborhood to wear your Secret Squadron emblem.
That's right. All right. Has the audio gone bananas since I opened up a website? I'm just curious. All right, let's do the ad read. I'll wear the hat for the ad read too. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a sponsor has returned, which is great. I'm going to talk about this one right here. Okay. Episode 98 of... Oh, hold on. We're going to run into issues there if I did that. Let me turn down my audio. There we go. Episode 98 of Switchcraft is brought to you by the Podnuts Tech Podcast Network. By normal tech fans, for normal tech fans. This podcast network has a whole bunch of different shows. There's one that I'm going to focus on today, and that is the Computer Repair Podcast, hosted by Jeff and other people. Sometimes join Jeff. It's a weekly live podcast where they discuss the in and outs of computer repair business. They discuss topics ranging from how-to fixes, customer service, business practices, and more. And you can even call in and ask them for advice. This is something I'm going to need to listen to because I've been running into these issues with my live streams where I get some kind of crackling in my audio and I can't seem to nail down what's causing it. So I'm going to give the Computer Repair Podcast a listen and see if maybe they can help me. Maybe I'll even call in if I can, if I am listening live. But one way or the other, I've got to get this audio issue nailed down. And one of the tools I'm going to use to do that is the Computer Repair Podcast at the Podnuts Network. That's at podnuts.com. That's podnutz.com. All right, we'll call that sponsor. And we'll call this Patreon. Did the oh, okay, no, Vac just says the audio is still good. This episode of Switchcraft and all others are recorded live 3 days a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays at 3 p.m., also on Saturdays at whatever time the universe allows. You can tune in at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. We've got a whole bunch of people here that have done just so. Let me look through the people who've joined us. We've got Kodiak, Moonwolf, Mod Extraordinaire. He's working on getting a little bot that will automatically ping Discord when I go live, which will be awesome when he gets it working. He also has a light bulb that turns on purple when I go live, which is just about the coolest thing. Vaxer is here. Vaxer throws raisins all over the place. Link 31254 is also here. We've got scrolling. Captain Logan is here. He was recently on the Nintendo Powercast, which is a really great podcast if you haven't checked that one out. Who else is here? We've got Bravd has shown up. Kimbalina 66, Awate 86 as well. And there's a bunch of lurkers, I'm sure. So thank you all for showing up and hanging out while I record the show. Let's jump right into the news. Live. I always mention the time, but no time zone. That's right, I don't. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. There, I just added it to the show notes, so in the future, I will have it set up. Or should I re-record that and include the U.S. Eastern? I kind of like the way it sounded, so I'm going to leave it. All right. Oh man, I forgot the feedback. You know, I'm going to re-record that. Quick review and comment. Bought Golf Story because of seeing you stream it, and I think you mentioned it on the podcast. So yes, thank you for the podcast and great game suggestions. Awesome, thank you. Before we get to the feedback, I just wanted to give you all a quick reminder that Switchcraft is recorded 3 times a week at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also on Saturday at whatever time the universe allows. So if you want to be here for the live stream, just make sure you tune in to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. We've got a bunch of people here today. We've got Kodiak Moonwolf, who is always working hard to make the live stream better. He's working on a bot that will ping Discord as soon as I go live, and he's got a light bulb in his house that turns purple when his favorite streamers start streaming as well. So that's cool. Vaxer, who's here, and he likes to throw raisins at everyone. Link 31254. We've got, let's see, scrolling down, Captain Logan, who I remember listening to last week on the Nintendo Powercast, which, just so everyone knows, I will be on the Nintendo Powercast this week on Tuesday. You can check that out at twitch.tv/n64josh. I believe that's going to be super late at night, but I don't remember the exact time. I think it's like 11 o'clock my time. Let's see, who else is here? We've got Kimbalina66. Bravd is also here. We have a brand new subscriber, Awate86. So thank you for that. And if I've missed anybody, I apologize, but we must move on. We've got... Oh, actually, look at this. We're all out of iTunes reviews. So if you want to get your show or your review read on the podcast, just make sure you head on over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and let me know what you think. 5 stars is, of course, preferable, but be honest, okay? If you're looking for ways to get a hold of me, there's a bunch of ways to do that. You can do so through email at runjumpstomp@gmail.com. You can tweet at me at runjumpstomp. You can call 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. Leave a voicemail. I'll play it on the show. And, of course, join the Discord, runjumpstomp.com/Discord, and we'll have all kinds of awesome conversations right there with other people who also listen to the show. Okay, let's run, jump, and stomp right into the news. Name, feedback. All right. Let's go ahead and start recording the rest, the news. Let me click on this. This is from US Gamer. Okay. Let me just click on something real quick. I want to go to their website. All right, here we go. If you've never heard of Limited Run Games, they're a publisher of, you guessed it, limited run physical games for PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4. They focus on bringing games that were previously only available in a digital format to a physical medium. They are game collectors and players who fear the all-digital future. So some of you who have written into the show before have said that you don't like the idea of an all-digital future, and you always want to be able to pick up games in a physical, so you've got that cartridge in your hand and you can play it even if there's some other kind of weird issue that would prevent somebody who is playing on a digital version of that game from playing. Well, they tweeted out this on the 20th, that would be yesterday, and they said, excited to announce that we've been approved to publish retail games on the Nintendo Switch. Our first release will be will hit in 2018. And there's no information about what exactly that game is going to be, but that's awesome. You know, I do know that there's some people who refuse to buy digital games, and because there's no digital game, or because there's no physical game, they can't pick up certain games, and that is a little bit painful for people. Now, I don't know how the pricing is going to be for these games. My guess is because it's limited run, and these are going to be very rare, that the price of these physical cartridges are going to be higher than the price that you would pay buying the game on the eShop. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew about that. If there's a specific game out there that you're looking forward to, then I suggest you reach out to @LimitedRunGames on Twitter and say, hey, are you going to be bringing Game X to the physical world. Please, please do so. Let them know what games you want, because the squeaky wheel gets the bird seed. I don't think that's the thing, but that's okay. All right, back. I'm surprised you don't use that line more often. I guess it never occurred to me until just then. Does that mean episode 100 will be Odyssey Eve? Well, let's look. Let's bring up the old calendar. So this is episode 98. And it's Saturday. So the next episode is the 24th. That's 99. And then the 26th is Odyssey Eve. So you're right. So episode 100 will be Odyssey Eve. That's funny. I couldn't have planned it better myself. And don't worry, I will be streaming Mario Odyssey on the 27th after work. All right, let me click on this Polygon story. Oh, you know what? I never gave you guys the show notes. I'm sorry. Man, Bill, you suck. View, copy link. Show title. Oh, you want that to be the title, Odyssey Eve? Well, I think that's a good idea, Logan. All right, where was we? Where was we? I can't talk. All right, let me just read through this again, because I looked at this story yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, and I haven't really thought about it. Oh, yeah, okay. Record. Last episode, I went on and on about 4.0.0, which is the latest firmware update for the Nintendo Switch. But there was something that I left out. Of course there was. This is via Polygon.com. And they have discovered that if you... well, here, let me go back. Walk this back just a little bit. Previously, if you look at the profile, at your profile on the Switch, it'll tell you, it'll tell me on mine, played Breath of the Wild for 185 hours or more, which is crazy. But when you first get a game, it generally didn't report anything until after the first 5 hours, which is a little irritating. Now, I don't really know why I care about this much, but I really do want to know how much time that I spend in the games that I play. And on the Wii U and on the... Well, I don't remember on the Wii U or not, but on the 3DS, definitely on the 3DS, they tracked the information, the data fantastically. There was so much information. You could see exactly how long you've played a game. You could even open up the little profile and it would tell you, you could sort them by the amount of time that you've spent in each game, which was really cool. I was surprised by some of the ones that I had spent as much time in, like Pokemon X. I dumped a whole lot of hours into, and it didn't really feel like it. So that was a big surprise to me. And on the Switch, a lot of people were disappointed where it would just be like, has played for a few minutes, or has played for a little while. Well, something that came along with 4.0.0 is now it will start registering more than played for a few minutes after, like, instead of waiting 5 hours, it'll now do it after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours, which is, it's good. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not the best. I still think that Nintendo had a really good system for tracking the amount of time that you've played on the 3DS, and they need to bring that to the Switch, because it's a piece of information that for some reason gamers want. I want it too. I don't know why I want it, but I do want that information. Now, there are some people that will tell you just use the parental controls app, so then you can, because the Switch is tracking this stuff. It's just not showing you the information. And if you use the parental controls app, you can then look on your phone to see how long you've played this game for or that game for. And then that's fine, but that's not a solution that the players should have to deal with. We should just be able to go into the Switch's menu and see exactly. I've played for 182 or 187 hours and 53 minutes or something like that when I look at Breath of the Wild, which that number is going to be going up because we've got Breath of the Wild DLC coming. We don't know anything more than that it's coming, but they said it was this year, and this year's winding down, so we're going to be getting it soon. My guess, if I were to guess, and I didn't even plan on talking about this, but if I were to guess as to when the DLC for Breath of the Wild would come out, I'm going to say Thanksgiving week. I'm going to guess that it's going to be Thanksgiving week is when that will come out, because that would be the most inconvenient time for me, because that's when I'm doing a bunch of family stuff, and I really want to play that Zelda DLC. So I'm sure that Nintendo is listening to this right now, and Mr. Koizumi is taking his headphones off. He shouted to somebody across the room, and they've said, "Run, jump, stomp." They don't want to play on Thanksgiving. Let's make sure we ship it then. So that's what's going to happen. All right, let's move on to the next story. Wouldn't it be amazing if Mr. Koizumi was listening to the podcast? Wouldn't that be amazing? He's not, but it would be awesome. All right, let me see. What do we got to name this? We got to name this Hours. I think we need that information because we build value into a game based on the time played to completion. But I don't. That's the thing, Captain Logan. When I play a game, I don't equate the number of hours that I've played the game. Like, I don't have a formula that says I need to play for this many hours in order for it to equal this many dollars. That's not the way it works for me in my brain. But I like to know how much time I've played a game, and I don't know why. But I don't think that's the reason, at least not for me. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that that's the reason for, because there's a lot of people out there that say we need to know how many hours the game is before we can make a purchase decision or something like that. By the way, is chat not there? I think I got rid of it. Yeah, it's not visible. Let me just test something. Yeah, there we go. I added chat back in, so it'll work now. Hopefully my audio doesn't get all screwy. All right, let's... You guys won't be able to see this because it's a press link. Audio is still fine? Okay. Well, maybe reinstalling that driver has fixed it. In September, the Nintendo Switch system was once again the top-selling current-generation console hardware, according to the NPD Group, which tracks video game sales in the United States. This marks the third straight month that Nintendo Switch has been number one, and the fifth time overall in the 7 months since its launch. Nintendo Switch has already surpassed 2 million units sold in the US alone, and has yet to go through its first holiday shopping season. When combined with the Nintendo 3DS family of systems and the plug-and-play Super Nintendo Entertainment System Super NES Classic Edition system, that's a mouthful, Nintendo systems have claimed 2/3 of this month's total video game hardware sales. All right, let's stop there for a second, and that's a press release from Nintendo themselves. What does this mean? Well, there are a lot of fans of Nintendo that look at that and they say, Nintendo is destroying PlayStation. But what you have to remember is that PlayStation and Xbox, they've been out for a while, and a lot of people who want them already have them. Whereas the Nintendo Switch is new, and people are still trying to get a hold of them. There's a lot of people out there who can't find one. So while I think it's fantastic that Nintendo is selling as well as it has, 2 million units in the US sold before the first holiday season is amazing. That's really, really good news for Nintendo. And again, that's just in the US. That's not worldwide. That doesn't include the other regions. Okay. The idea that Nintendo is taking the 3DS and the Super NES Classic and putting those two together with the Switch, you know, that feels a little bit like they're picking their news. They're saying, well, I really like this story and I really like this story. So if we put these together, we can make this story. And saying that they claim 2/3 of the month's total video game hardware, not a huge surprise when they don't have a lot of competition. Again, there's a lot of PS4s out there. There's a lot of, well, there's many Xbox Ones out there. And the fact is that they're not really competition for the Switch as far as new hardware goes. Just because PlayStation brought out the PS4 Pro doesn't really, to me, count it as a new generation. So I'm excited that Nintendo's doing well, but I just want people to calm down the rhetoric, because people always turn video game sales into a cola war. For some reason, they're like, I like Pepsi and you like Coke and we can't be friends because of that. Or I like Pepsi and I want Coke to fail. And for me, I just don't understand that idea, because I can enjoy whatever it is that I enjoy, and you can enjoy whatever it is that you enjoy, and your enjoyment does not lessen my enjoyment. And I think a lot of this stems from when we were kids. And when we were kids, we could only afford one system. I have two systems. I'm lucky. I have my PS4 and I have a Switch. Okay? But when I was a kid, I could afford one system. Okay? And you locked in on that system, and whichever system your parents had picked you up, you had to convince yourself that that was the greatest thing in the world, and the other stuff was not as good, and you wanted the other stuff to fail so that all of the games would be made for only your system. And I guess that's just, I don't know any other way to say it, but just it feels like it's a Coca-Cola or a cola war between Coke and Pepsi. Everybody can enjoy their drink that they want to drink. Just chill out. All right. Now, that being said, this is definitely good news for Nintendo. 2 million in the US alone is very, very impressive. The Super Nintendo Classic Edition seems to have really, they've done a great job when you compare it to the absolute disaster, which was the NES Classic. That was a disaster. By all accounts, eBay prices for the Super Nintendo Classic are dropping really fast. And people are able to get these. I've heard of restocks happening where people are going in and finding them. It's not super easy to find one yet, but it is possible to find it. And it felt like when the NES Classic came out, it was impossible to find it anywhere, ever. So I think that Nintendo's done a better job this time around with the Super Nintendo Classic. And when we get the next classic system, whether it's the N64 or the Game Boy, whatever it is, I think that Nintendo will have figured out a little bit more even by then. Maybe we'll have the pre-orders right this time around. Because while I feel like the launch of the SNES Classic was good, the pre-orders of the SNES Classic was a disaster. And I still think somebody needs to go smack Amazon around just a little bit after the nonsense that they pulled with the treasure trucks. All right, there's more to this press release, though. So let's check out the rest. Nintendo Switch games, again, occupied multiple spots in the list of best-selling individual games of the month, including Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle from Ubisoft at number 7, Breath of the Wild at number 10. That's pretty impressive that Breath of the Wild is still clinging in that top 10. Mario Kart Game Deluxe. Calm down, everybody. I did not say Mario Art. There's no mouse for the Switch yet. Don't get excited. That came in at number 11, and Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS and at number 8. Nintendo Switch aims to continue this momentum into the holidays with the launches of Fire Emblem Warriors, which came out yesterday, Super Mario Odyssey, which comes out in 6 days, Doom, Elder Scrolls Skyrim from Bethesda comes out on November 10th and 17th, and we've got Xenoblade Chronicles on December 21st. Nintendo 3DS will also have Fire Emblem Warriors on October 20th. That was yesterday. And Mario Party The Top 100 on November 10th, which is a disaster that game's not coming to the Switch instead. And then Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon on November 17th. So the rest of this year is going pretty swimmingly for Nintendo. We've got a lot of really good stuff to play. And I think that if people are excited about Nintendo selling 2 million units in the US alone, just wait until this Christmas. Wait until those Mario Odyssey bundles are on store shelves. This is going to be a really good year for Nintendo, and it's going to be a really good year for so far. Even if nothing else came out for the rest of the year, it's already been a fantastic year for Nintendo fans, because we've had some amazing gameplay experiences on a system that you can play on a TV or take with you. And we're about to get Mario, and it's what was it? Famitsu? I think it was Famitsu just gave it 39 out of 40. Edge Magazine gave it 10 out of 10. So in 6 days, we are going to be having an absolute blast playing Super Mario Odyssey. I think that's it for news. Let's jump on over to the lightning round. What did I do? Name. Sales. Mario Art. What was it called? Mario Paint is what it was called, right? Feel like my cats are up to no good. All right. You know, I put this in the lightning round thinking that I wouldn't spend much time on it. But now that I'm looking at the actual story, I feel like I do want to spend a little time on it, especially because I feel like I haven't gone too long with the other stories. All right, well, who was it? Adam Creighton was speaking to Games Radar, and he was talking about Doom. And he said, he was talking about porting it to the Switch. And he said, it's been hard, wicked hard. But I would expect it to be. This is a title that's so frenetic and action-packed and gameplay pure that getting it to work correctly on the hardware is really important to us, and we spend a lot of time trying to make sure it measures up to the lens of, does it feel like Doom? And he's absolutely right. Doom is one of the most fast-paced video games I have ever played in my life, and if it doesn't feel fast-paced, then it's going to fall flat. So I guarantee that they are working to get that ready, to get that right. He goes on to say, as a gamer, I like hardware a lot. As a developer, I'm grateful to be bringing games to people. I'm grateful to be bringing games people don't expect to the hardware. All right, so what he's saying there is, he said, okay, I misread the beginning. He didn't say, as a gamer, I like hardware. He said, as a gamer, I like the hardware, and he's talking about the Switch, okay? And he really likes the Switch hardware. As a developer, he's happy to bring something to the Switch that people would not be expecting, like when we had the Doom announcement, because that was pretty surprising. He says, when they were announced, people say, what? And then they say, oh, that makes total sense. This might sound defensive, but I'm bummed that some gamers focus on frame rate and resolution and don't focus on is it fun or does the gameplay feel good. And I totally agree with Creighton here. I think it is... I don't even... It feels like almost like a disease that gamers have, where they have to look at the numbers and they have to compare numbers all of the time. And they don't just sit down and try a game and find out if it's fun. They always have to say, well, how many frames per second does it have? What resolution does it run at? How many bits per second is this thing? And I understand that the need for people to want to quantify their fun with numbers, because humans like to quantify things. But there's something else to be said for playing a game and just saying whether or not it's fun. That's one of the reasons that my game reviews never, ever give numbers. I don't say that this is a 7 out of 10 or this is a 10 out of 10. I just say if I like the game or not, or if it's fun or not, because that's really the most important point. And, you know, I'm just one dude in a room. You know, when you have all of these, when you have like big companies like IGN, they have to use numbers because their audience demands them to use numbers. They demand them to give a score to a number, or a score to a number, a score to a game. And I just really wish that all of the game review publications would say, you know what, that's not really that important. It doesn't help anybody for us to give a number to a game. In fact, it hurts, because while I may find this game really fun, if I give it an 8 instead of a 9, maybe this game's average drops a little bit and somebody else gave it a 6, and then the developer doesn't get some bonus that they would get that they were supposed to get if they get a certain score on Metacritic. And I think that the idea of numbers is a disaster for gaming overall. I really do. I think it should just be you either like the game or you don't. And the resolution doesn't matter. And the frame rate doesn't matter as long as it's a stable frame rate. It's not about whether it's 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. It's, does the frame rate stay the same so that you have a good experience, so that you can have fun. And in the constant need to one-up everybody else, game companies have gone down this road of constantly saying, well, this has better numbers. I mean, look at the Xbox. The Xbox One X, which to this day is a ridiculously stupid name. It's like they, and I've said this before, and I'm not the only one to say this, but it's like somebody had taken their name on AOL chat, and so they added an X to the front and back of it. But anyway, the Xbox One X is, you know, Microsoft keeps touting it as the most powerful console ever. And they're right. It's the most powerful console ever. Who cares? I don't care. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't care, because they're just going to go out and buy an Xbox One or an Xbox One S. I don't see people buying the Xbox One X except for people who only care about numbers. Because in the end, while the games might look better, we're pretty much at a point now where the graph of continually increasing graphical fidelity of what our games look like has started to level off. And I think that's why the Nintendo Switch works so well as a system, because while it is not as powerful as a PS4, and it's not as powerful as an Xbox One, and it's nowhere near as powerful as a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, it's powerful enough to give us a good experience playing a game. And I think that is far more important to whether or not a game is fun than if it runs at the right resolution. And, you know, I'm bringing this up. I'm going to kind of circle back around to this interview with Creighton. I'm going to read what he said again. He said, I'm bummed that gamers focus on frame rate or resolution and don't focus on is it fun or does the gameplay feel good. I just saw a story before I started recording where there was somebody customer service rep, and I don't know if this is accurate. They had said that that Super Mario Odyssey is going to run at 1080p in docked mode. And while that may be true and it may be not true, it doesn't really matter. 900p or 1080p, it's not that big of a difference, really. It's 180 lines of pixels. That's it. And it's really not going to make that much of a difference as to whether or not the game is fun. Let's take in chat. Kodiak Moonwolf says, I don't care about frames and all that. If the game is fun and I enjoy it, to hell with frame rates. If the one-upmanship on quality keeps up, we'll eventually end up playing games with real people because that's the only way you'll get better quality. I get what you're saying, Kodiak, yeah. And honestly, you know, I understand why systems like the Xbox One X and PS4, they want to go for more powerful because we're getting TVs with higher resolutions. We're up to 4K now. And I definitely remember playing was it my GameCube or the Wii? One or the other. Playing it on it was the Wii. And the Wii did not have HDMI out. And it looked like crap on my HD TV. And that was not fun. That was not fun at all. It looked great. I had fun playing the games, but it was irritating because I knew that if Nintendo had just included HDMI out, it would have looked so much better. So I guess I understand why companies want to go with the biggest possible numbers, and that's to future-proof things so that when you do buy a 4K TV, your games will look good on it. But right now, I've got a 4K TV across the hall here. I had trouble finding a 1080p TV because we just bought a new TV for the bedroom, and we couldn't find a 1080p TV that was the small enough size that we wanted. So we ended up buying a 4K TV, and when I hook up my Switch to it, it looks just fine. It really does. It looks just fine. And for anybody... Okay, I'm going to anger some people now, but for anybody that says that they can really tell the difference between 1080p and 4K for a video game, I'm just a little skeptical at that, because every time I look at it, I'm like, man, this looks great, and I'm playing it on a 4K TV. Now, granted, it's a small 4K TV, but it's still 4K, and it still looks good. All right, I have totally rambled for, oh my good God, 10 minutes. That was supposed to be a lightning round story. Let's do the other two real fast. Speaking of Super Mario Odyssey, I talked about that just a little bit ago. Jump Up Superstar is a top 40 song, sort of. I don't know if this counts as a top 40 song, but somebody on Reddit, username D's, they said that Jump Up Superstar is top 40 on the US iTunes all genre chart. That was, let's see, that was 3 hours ago. It was at number 37. And if I scroll down, somebody says an hour ago it's at 25. And then a little bit after that, it was at 24. This is a little crazy. I mean, it's a good song, but who is buying this song? That's what's insane to me. I mean, when I think of iTunes, I think of teenagers. Teenagers, and gosh, it's really crazy to me to think that a song from a Super Mario game, is in the top 40. That's bananas to me. It's a good song, but it's not the style of music that is usually in the top 40, which is just really insane to me. All right, let's move on. Nintendo of Europe is going to have a Halloween sale on October 24th. This comes from mynintendonews.com. They said, with Halloween fast approaching, Nintendo Europe has announced it will be having a special sale. The sale will be across its various platforms, including Nintendo Switch, 3DS, Wii U. The sale begins on October 24th, you dummy. Of course, they put the dates backwards like they're supposed to, unlike the US, which puts their dates the wrong way as well. So don't buy anything. You know, whatever it is that you were going to buy, I say hold off if you're in Europe and wait until Tuesday and find out what you can get for a little bit cheaper. We don't know yet. All right, that is the lightning round. Let's talk about what's coming out soon. Beats Alive says, playing a game at 4K on a 4K TV is much different from playing a game at 1080p scaled to 4K on a 4K TV. Maybe, but when I play my Switch where it scales it to 4K, it looks good. Vaxxer says it's like people raging about 59 frames per second and 60 frames per second. Christian Run Ext enters the castle. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Listen, if you want to have a little. All right. So if you're a patron, just making sure that you know that I do a drawing. I draw a picture every month, and this month's picture the poorly drawn sketch is directly related to the frames per second argument that we've been having. All right. I drew it a little bit ago, but I had already put out, maybe I'll draw something in 4K. Well, actually, let me see. What's the resolution? Let me see what the resolution is. I got to go back to... it is 2048 by 1536. Here, I'll show you a glimpse. Not the whole thing, though. There you go. That's all you get. If you want the actual drawing and the video of me drawing it, that's for patrons. Or you can get it a month later. I know, spoilers. All right, here we go. I don't know why I thought that I was going to have a shorter show today. I don't know why I thought that. It's like I haven't met me or something, because I talked for quite a long time today. Let's wrap this up. Coming soon, these are the games that are on their way to Nintendo platforms. On October 20th, for the Switch, we've got Fire Emblem Warriors. That was yesterday, by the way. Limited edition. We also had Siberia come out for the 3DS, Fire Emblem Warriors as well. We had new amiibo from the Fire Emblem series, Tiki and Crom. October 23rd, that is on, what is that, Monday? Let me look. Yep, that's Monday. For the Switch, we've got Poi Explorer Edition. I don't know anything about that game. And then the next day on Tuesday, October 24th, 3DS Etrian Odyssey 5 Beyond the Myth DLC 2 is coming out. We've got a few games for the Switch. The Mummy Demastered, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I think that game looks pretty good. Knights of Azure 2 Bride of the Moon. This is The Police. Night Terrors, spelled Knight Terrors. And on the Wii U, Switch, Just Dance 2018. Holy cow. They're still putting out games for the Wii. That's insane to me. I know that the Wii was incredibly popular, but that's crazy. So Just Dance 2018 is coming to Wii U, and Switch on October 24th. I'm not going to be getting that game. I'm not interested in those games. But that's all the time that we have for today. If there's a story that I missed or a topic that you would like discussed, please let me know. Do so by one of the ways that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. If you're looking for ways to support the show, the number one, easiest, cheapest, and best way, it's absolutely free. It's just share the show with a friend. Or you could also review the show on iTunes so that other people looking for content that like this, they'll see your review and they'll be thinking, oh, maybe I should check out this bald weirdo. For those of you that don't know, I'm bald. Let's see. Other ways that you can support the show for free. You can go on over to my Amazon affiliate link. If you buy things from Amazon often, you can use that link and Amazon will send me money. I don't know why, but they do. Also, if you are on Amazon, you can use Amazon Prime, link that to your Twitch account, and then you hit the little subscribe button at your favorite streamer. Hopefully it's me, but no harm, no foul if it's somebody else. And it will cost you $0, and Amazon will again send the streamer some money. All right. You can also join the Patreon. You get those drawings that I was talking about. Actually, I think that was between segments. So if you watch the full video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you can join the Patreon. For as little as $1, you get exclusive rewards, like I do a poorly drawn sketch every month for everyone. I post the show notes early for everyone there. And you can also buy some awesome fabric nerdiness from my wife's Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/run-jump-stomp. Big thank you goes out to Tom Winter and Noteblock for the use of their music today. Check out their YouTube channels, support them because they are supporting me. I appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Call that out. And I need to save. No Just Dance stream. No, nobody wants to see that. Desktop, SC98. All right, let's put on some music. All right, Vaxxer, you know the deal. You gotta give us your estimate. How long do you think the show was? Vaxxer says he thinks the episode will be just under 40 minutes. Let's look. I'll go tracks. Align tracks end to end. Unedited. Unedited, the show is 36 minutes. Hey, Arislia. I saw you come in saying something about being sleepy. So, was the audio good the whole time? Did it mess up at all? Was there any audio screw-ups? Look at that, we got a brand new Bit Boss. Yeah, I don't set alarms on the weekend either, but I still get up at like 7 a.m. Is it the Price is Right rules? There's the Price is Right for you. So you know what? Because those of you that didn't win,
you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
That's right. I have the sound. Of course, I have the sound. I've got a lot of sounds. I've got this one.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive shh.
Well, I had to go back and fix the Wonka one. There was definitely a problem with it. How much do you have on that panel? Well, I don't know how high I can pick it up.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? Let me see if I can pick it up. No, I can't pick it up that way. No, I can't pick it up without undoing my chords. I got my chords exactly the way I want them. For crying out loud, I can't set it back down. There we go. Oh, here's what I can do. I can show you. Let me open that up. Alright, I'm doing some stuff, so let me know if the audio starts to get all crackly. Add window capture. We'll call this deck. There we go. So this... save. Save. There we go. Alright, now you guys can see it. Yeah, so I just hit, like, and it's a physical little thing with, and these are all screens. So I can hit a button. And so when I go to edit the podcast, I hit this button, and I can go through and use these buttons to edit it. When I'm streaming, I usually have my sound effects up. When I'm getting ready to stream, I usually hit these buttons. And the screens all change every time I hit a button. Right? So if I want to bring up chatty, I hit this this thing with the little C there. Okay. If I want to switch to... Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. I can pick the game. So if I'm going to play Zelda, I just changed the... I hit the button a little too fast, and I think you guys saw the little green thing go over the arms. So now Twitch probably says that I'm playing arms. I never actually used this, though. Did I change it so that Twitch thinks I'm playing arms now, though? Let me check. Dang it. Sometimes you will have spurious inputs where you push the button twice when you don't mean to. Let me fix that. Talk shows. Update information. There we go. Yeah, this was given to me by Abigail13, who is incredibly amazing. She's always been like one of the biggest supporters of the stream. Even if she can't make it to most of the stream, she still supports. And I really appreciate her. But let's see, I got this one.
Game over, man. It's game over.
And then there's, of course, this one. Oh, come on, why isn't it working? Alright, there's a problem. This stopped working. Huh. My the more you know thing is gone. Oh well. I broke it. Well, does this still work?
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Airsley wants to know what the Velma one is. It's this.
You stop that.
That was suggested by Abigail as well. So like in my Discord channel, or in my Discord, I have a channel that is called Feedback. And when I first started getting people watching, I said, hey, if there's sound effects that you guys want, just drop the YouTube link in the Discord, and I'll grab it and make it a sound effect. And so that's where almost all of these came from. This one is my Vaxxer button.
Let's get one thing straight, all right? You're a jerk.
And this is when Princess shows up.
Well, excuse me, Princess.
There was one that we used to have I suggested because of something RJS said one day. It was a clip from Aladdin. He can be taught! That's right. I didn't have a good clip of it, though. It sounded like crap, so I never actually built it back in. I should put that back in there, though. I should get a better clip of it sometime. I forgot about that. Airslea doesn't have a name that lends itself to sound effects. Well, that's okay. I mean, this isn't about Vaxxer's name.
Let's get one thing straight, all right? You're a jerk.
It's because he's always mean to me, so I'm mean back. All right, everybody. I'm gonna find somebody to host. And looking on Twitch right now. See who is around. A lot of people are at TwitchCon. By the way, I'm excited for some of the new Twitch stuff. Oh, Vaxxer, you're always mean. In a good way. Keeps me on my toes. Oh yeah, there's new Twitch stuff coming. Let me see if I can find the information. And we'll talk about that real quick. Because I just like sitting and talking to you guys. So you're going to be able to gift subscriptions soon, which is cool. There's also... They have this thing called rooms where the streamer can make multiple chat rooms that people can talk in. So like they can make a sub-only chat room and they can make a chat room just for new people. There can be a thing where if you've never watched a channel before, you can hit a button and it'll pop up a little thing on the screen and it'll basically welcome, like it'll break the ice for them, I guess, which is kind of cool. They're putting in raid functionality like built into the system itself, so I could type /raid and another channel, and I guess they said that it makes it easier to get your viewers to all go to this channel. I don't really know how it works, but there was a couple other things that I thought looked really neat. They said that extensions are doing very well, and I think the extensions on Twitch are really good. I'm happy about that. Well, multiple chats is odd if you're small like me, but when you have like a massive, like whenever I go and watch somebody that's huge, like Bacon Donut or something, like their chat is going like a mile a minute. It's so fast. And so my guess is that the subs, they want to talk to each other, but they can't because there's all this other stuff that people are just, spamming. You know, you could have one where you could set up a room where you're chatting and, you know, it doesn't allow emotes to be spammed. So, you know, that's one of the things. Like I was watching like Soda Poppin'. He's huge, right? And I'm not really a fan of his normal content, but he was on vacation in Japan and he was just wandering around Japan, and it happened to be so I could watch it while I was eating my breakfast one day, and he was just wandering around Japan, and it was incredibly interesting, but his chat was such a disaster. Like you could not look at it. It just flew by so fast. So I think for people like them, they want to do that. Airslea says, does Twitch have custom groups like patrons, for instance? No, they don't. I think that Twitch wants to move everything away from that. And, you know, people ask me quite often, they say, Bill, what would you prefer? How would you prefer I support you? Would you prefer that I do a Patreon pledge, or would you prefer that I subscribe on Twitch? And my answer is always, you know, whichever one gives you the rewards that you like. Because personally, if it were up to me, if there was an easy way to do it, I would make sure that everybody always got to use all of the cool emotes. Because right now we have the run jump hype emote, that's like the big one, or the main one. But we also have like a $10 emote and a $25 emote that nobody gets to use, which sucks because it's just too expensive. And I wish that I could let everyone use all of the emotes, but Twitch doesn't let me do that, you know? And the same thing, if you pledge on Patreon, you get to see the artwork and stuff, right? And you get to look at the stuff on the Patreon. I don't get to share that stuff with people. Well, I can. If I wanted to, I could. But I want there to be something to say, hey, maybe make it worthwhile for the people who pledge on Patreon. So I gotta have something like behind the wall. But I wish that I could just take everybody who subs on Twitch and let them into the Patreon for nothing. Because they're supporting me just as much. And I wish that I could give all of the emotes to the people who are supporting on Patreon, because they're supporting just as much. And it's like, Twitch does not want... They want a wall. They want a wall. Everything inside of Twitch. They want everybody to be right here in the middle. And they don't want anything from the outside. That's why they made bits. So people wouldn't be doing the PayPal stuff as much. And honestly, I think bits are fantastic. I think they're a little overpriced. And if you had the same exchange rate that you get with PayPal with the bits, I think people would use bits a lot more, because the bits are safer for the streamer, because the streamer can... How do I put this? The streamer... Okay, so if somebody tips me on PayPal, they could do like a chargeback, and I would then, like, that money would get taken away from me. And I may actually have to pay a fee for that chargeback. You know what I mean? Whereas bits, there are no chargebacks on bits, so they're safer. The advantage is that when somebody does a tip on PayPal, I get that money instantaneously if I want. Whereas I've been an affiliate on Twitch for, well, at least 4 months now, and I still haven't gotten a payout. And I know, like, the reason is you don't get a payout until you reach a certain threshold, and then you don't get a payout until 60 days after you reach a certain threshold. And I didn't reach that threshold until last month, so I still got another month before I get my first payout from Twitch. And that's okay. I don't do this for the money. The money that people tip or cheer or sub, that's awesome. I love that people are willing to support me, but that's not the reason I do it. The main reason I do it is because I played MMOs for a really long time, and I always had people to talk to while I was playing those games. And then I felt like I was always missing out on single-player games because I just didn't enjoy it as much because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So the main reason that I started streaming was because I wanted to be able to talk to people while I was playing a game. And this seemed like the best way to do it. And so I streamed for, I think it was 2 years. I think I streamed for 2 years, and it was probably almost a solid 2 years before anybody came by. Outside of like 1 or 2 people would pop in, say hello, and then leave. And it really wasn't until I got into like Axel was hosting on Bogotter's stream a contest, basically, where he said, I'm going to buy somebody a subscription. And that's one of the things that you can do soon is you can buy people subscriptions. Well, the way he did a workaround was he just sent $5 to my PayPal account, and then I subscribed to Bogotter. Well, anyway, he was doing a contest, and whoever won the contest was going to get a free subscription to Bogotter. And so I won I was lucky enough to get drawn, and so Axel sent me the $5 or whatever, and then I subscribed with that money to Bog Otter. And then later that day, Bog Otter was doing Overwatch with subs, and I was like, oh man, I'm a sub now, so I can join in. So I joined in, and I got on his Discord, and I said hello, and Bog and everybody in his chat reacted like they reacted to my voice, because I have a deep voice, and so they were making a big deal out of that. And I think Bog Otter said something like, you should be on the radio or something like that, and I said, well, actually, I'm a Twitch streamer and a podcaster. And he said, well, make sure that everybody go over to his channel and follow him. And so I got a bunch of follows that day. I think I got like 10 follows that day. And that was, at that point, I think I had a total of 30 follows. And so I went from 20 follows to 30 follows in one day, and I was like flabbergasted. And then the next time that I streamed, like, people showed up, and I was blown away that people showed up. And then it just started growing from there. But it's really thanks to Bog Otter, and that's why even though I never get to actually watch Bog Otter stream, I still subscribe to him because he's fantastic. Kodiak Moonwolf says, and now look at you, less than 50 to 1,000 followers. Yeah, and you know, again, I don't really do this because I want to make sure that I have the most followers or something. It's nice, and it definitely makes doing this easier. Having people send tips and support the stream, because I can buy things for the stream, like I was able to buy this microphone and my mixer and my webcam. I was able to buy all this stuff with money that people sent me. Yeah, 1,000 is a cool number. Aerslia says, maybe I should play Guild Wars 2 today. All this Bog Otter talk is reminding me. That's right, Vaxxer. Sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time. It certainly didn't help that I could not make up my mind between streaming on Twitch and YouTube gaming. Like, I had a hard time trying to decide between the two, because YouTube gaming gives transcoding to everybody, but Twitch has all the viewers, you know? So it was hard for me to decide that. Plus, there was a long time where I refused to put my face on screen. I don't know what my problem was with that. Like, I was afraid to put my face on stream for a really long time, and I don't. It's not because of how I look or anything. It was mostly because out of anonymity. I just liked the anonymity of it. But then I finally got over that, and I decided to get a webcam, and that was around the same time that Bog Otter helped me out. So anyway, I don't even know why I started talking about that. How did I get on this topic? I can't remember. Vaxxer says, streaming on YouTube is horrible. Chat is so toxic. I didn't really have that as an experience, Vaxxer. In fact, I grew a lot faster on YouTube than I ever did on Twitch. But the one thing that I did notice is a lot of people that were showing up were... Not everybody, but a lot of people that were showing up were just a little annoying. And they would say things like, hey, shout me out. And I'm like, okay, you can just say hello, and I'll say hello back. And yeah, I'm on Twitch now, and I have a webcam, and my wife is incredibly supportive and lets me spend money that you guys tip on things like this ridiculous microphone and the mixer. You know, things like that. Like, because I my first podcast where I was recording using the first microphone that I had was okay, but it wasn't that great. And this microphone is fantastic. I love this microphone. I can't imagine having a microphone that's better than that. Holy crackers.
As we're talking tips, have a tip. D.
Thank you very much, for the $10. Where's my... Oh. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. That didn't work. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Kodiak, for the $10. I appreciate it. I'm going to put that to good use because I think that I am going to be picking up a new mixer and trying to sell my old mixer. Because I want to have some built-in sound effects and stuff, and also have a little more control over the audio, I think. Either that or a solid-state hard drive, because I need one of those as well. I'm still running a 7800 RPM hard drive. And you're the champ. I can't read that. Is that who it's to say you? Oh, yep, that's Kodiak. From what you had recently, I say get the solid state drive first. Do you save the VODs locally? No, they go straight to Twitch, and then I can cut off the beginning and the end, where it's just what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's just this screen. When it's just that screen, I cut out that stuff usually. That's the wrong button. And well, not the fluff. I only cut off the beginning and the end, because there's a bunch of stuff in the middle where, you know, I'm like, okay, and then we'll name this Floofabobbin, and then we'll click on that. You know, there's stuff in there that I click, or that I cut out. But for the most part, it's uncut. I don't cut anything out in the beginning or the middle or the end. I don't cut out anything in the middle, is what I meant to say. Just the beginning and the end. So no, I don't save the VODs locally. Well, now I have to keep streaming because Kodiak tipped. So here's what I'll do. Oh no, that might crash. Okay, I can't do that. Let me put that away. I was going to turn on a game and start playing it, but I can't. No, I do. I do, Kodiak. But I can't play a game on my Switch because if I switch my inputs, switch. If I change my inputs, it will it'll crash OBS because OBS is dumb. I really want to find a way to replace OBS, but I've been using it for 3 years now. I'm really used to it, you know. So we can tip you so you stay here for the whole day. You know, Vaxxer, I guess so. I didn't plan on doing a really long stream, but we can do that. I'll just have to play something on my computer, I guess. Let me start up... No. Let's start up this program. I don't have to be careful on how I answer. I will throw caution to the wind when I answer questions. Don't tell me.